and welcome. My name is Lola, and on this channel we're talking about learning English as a second language and learning the real version of American English. Not the academic one, but the real one. You know, bro. I'm not a native speaker myself, not a linguist, not a teacher, so give me a break. In today's video, I decided to share words and phrases that I didn't learn in school. I didn't learn in language courses. I didn't learn and I didn't know them until I came to the United States, and then I saw a lot of people using them, so I think they could be very useful for you. Number one is a bummer. Bummer. It's a slang word that actually means an unpleasant situation, but people use it as a comment on unpleasant situation. It's not something big, it's something minor and usually unexpected, but it really spoils the plans. I remembered this word because I actually imagined another word, a bumper. You know, when a car has a bumper and when one bumper hits another bumper, little fender bender. That's another word, actually. Do you know fender bender? I should have included this one. A fender bender is like a small accident, not a big car crash, but small accident. So when one car hits another, and I imagine like bumper to bumper, that's a bummer. It's like, that's a bummer. You gotta stop. You gotta discuss it, like share the insurance details and numbers. So in real life, when something minor happens, that kind of kills your plans. It's a bummer. For example, I got sick, I can't join you for a concert. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, or like my mom asked me to... What a bad girl. My mom asked me to help her. What a bummer. Well, if you're 13 and you're like, that's a bummer. So it's very casual. People use it in everyday life, commenting on something that's unpleasant. Next word is also slang. I love it. It's badass. Badass. I remember my friend Luis told me, Lola, you're such a badass. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? Like, I'm a bad ass? What does that mean? It's not self-explanatory. It's actually the opposite. You in your head, me in my head, I was thinking, am I bad or what? But being a badass is actually a cool thing, like a cool person. You're so tough, you're so independent, you're awesome, you're a badass. And one Pilates studio that I was going to in Los Angeles, they even had this neon sign that was saying, be a badass with a great ass, So when you see someone so cool, so, on point, sharp, and stylish, you could say, you're such a badass. I think about these, bad but really good guys in the movies, who are usually they wear leather jacket. Hopefully it's not real leather, but like fox leather. But this cool guys, they drive cool cars and they badass. Or girls, nowadays there are a lot of girls, they are badasses. Be a badass with a great ass. The next one is actually a phrasal verb. So, nice and academic. To figure out. And I remember an email from the institute that I was applying to, and I asked them a question about accommodation, for example, like, do you guys have any recommendations or do you have any advice on where the students should live? Maybe you have a Facebook group. That's what my question was. And the lady, the counselor, she told me, let me figure it out. I didn't learn this phrasal verb in school, and I didn't know that. I had to Google it, and then I realized that it's something that people use super often in the United States. It means to find something out, to find out, to find solution, to find the right information, but we are using the verb to figure out, not to find out. You could use let me find out, but figure out is a little bit more specific, because when you're figuring, figure like a number, it's something almost a little bit more complicated that you gotta ask this person, understand, 2 plus 2, kind of make your conclusions, analyze a little bit, and you figured it out. You kind of used your brain powers to find a solution. So let me figure it out. So when you consider, evaluate, inspect something, Google helps me investigate, resolve, you figure it out. And really good example, thank you. When something is not working, for example, my camera stopped working. I need to figure out what's happening. For example, you had an appointment, and that's the next phrase I want to talk about. You had an appointment, but your master or hairdresser, let's say, she didn't show up. She didn't come. So you're like, let me figure out what's going on. Like, are you okay? Are you on your way? You investigate, you try to understand the situation. You're figuring it out. Super useful. Americans say that a lot. So I hope you will start using it as well. And the next one I have just pronounced. I'm not ashamed to admit I didn't know how to say to make an appointment. When you call a place, let's say you need to see your hairstylist, nail technician, that's your nail lady, or a doctor, or maybe a lawyer. You need to call and make an appointment. So literally, can I see her or him? When can I see him? Like on Monday at 3 p.m. I made an appointment. So I didn't know this because I never used it when I lived in non-English speaking environment. So I hope you know it. By the way, let me know in comments in the end of this video which of the phrases and idioms you did know and which one you learned today. So I would feel like a badass who gave you some useful information. Another cool idiom, which is actually applicable mostly to actors, but also to other people who are performing or who has, let's say, a public speaking occasion, or honestly anything, like even you could have an exam. So if somebody's prepping for an important event, like performing or an exam, you could say break a leg. Break a leg means good luck, but people actually say break a leg, like. By the way, let's see how Americans explain this idiom. Let's jump into our app and let's listen to it.
Break a leg. Yeah, so this is a great one. Actors and musicians and performers use this phrase a lot. And it's basically a substitution for good luck, but we use it a lot in performance. So I used to think that you would say it ironically. I used to think that it came from, break a leg. Because if you say that, they won't break their leg and they'll do a good job and they'll have a good show. But I guess where it comes from is from Elizabethan theaters, so like Shakespeare plays and whatnot. So apparently the story goes that if the audience liked the play, they would take their chairs and they would bang them on the ground and they would stomp them. And if you stomp them hard enough, the leg of the chair would break. So the actors, I guess, would say to each other, break a leg, good luck. I hope you have a great show. I say this one all the time.
Thank you, Bobby. And if you want to learn more idioms specifically explained by the Americans, which I think is so useful because you see the logic. They explain how they really use it. Jump into our Lola Speak app and you'll find tons of material. Okay, so break a leg. Good luck with whatever you were going to do. The next one is an adjective complimentary. When something is complimentary, it's free. You don't pay for that. And it's such a sophisticated word for that. And I didn't know that before coming to the United States. And it was kind of funny because somebody said, I think parking. The parking here is complimentary. And I'm like, is it free? And the person didn't realize that I'm not a native. Well, I guess they did realize, but they couldn't explain it. They're like, it's complimentary. And I'm like, so is it free? I didn't know that those are synonyms, you know? So when something is complimentary, and sometimes they write it on a brochure, or they would promote an event and they say, come, drinks are complimentary, meaning it's free. The next two are very similar. It's teeny tiny and easy peasy. Sometimes people say like teeny tiny or tiny teeny, teeny tiny. And first I was like, sorry, what? Teeny tiny. That's, I don't know why, instead of using the word tiny, which is super, super small, they would say teeny tiny. So don't be surprised if you hear this word teeny tiny. And same when something is super straightforward, super easy, like no-brainer, another expression, no-brainer. It's easy peasy. So when you ask somebody, well, can you help me with that? Oh, it's easy peasy. Meaning like it's not even a question. Of course, I'll help you. It's easy peasy. Oh, can you help me with this teeny tiny problem I have? Well, easy peasy. And the last one for today is super interesting because not a lot of people know this term. And I've learned it after I met a guy who studied law, and actually all the educated people know this term, but I didn't. And this term is pro bono. When you're doing something pro bono, it means you're doing this work for free, for the good of public. And actually, it comes from Latin, I believe. Yes, it means for the public good. So some people in financial industry could use this term, or some people, as I said, in legal industry, for example, lawyers, they could do some work pro bono. They can represent you pro bono. Maybe they have their own interests. Maybe your case is something they believe in, or maybe it's a young lawyer who wants to get some experience, so he or she is ready to do some work for free, pro bono, you know, representing underdogs and underrepresented members of society who's not able to pay them for their work, knowledge, and experience. And by the way, when I asked my husband, when was the last time you used this term? He laughed and he said, well, I can use it right now. I can park your car pro bono. And I'm like, well, thank you. I need a real application. And he was jokingly already using this term. And you the same way can kind of, you know, like, you can sound really cool if you tell someone, well, I'll do that pro bono. You know, you do that for public good, because you're such a good person and you have some knowledge that is valuable to others. Well, that's it for today. Let me know in comments if you learned something new from this video, or if you're such a badass that you knew all the words and phrases in today's video, and I'll be super happy for you. If you have any cool ideas for the next videos, as well, let us know in comments. And like this video, you like, please like it, like. See you.